Here we go.
Champs here.
Get them.
Just everyone just take a slight step back. Yeah, okay. We're going to do about 3 minutes. I'll get Kevin and then we'll get David Higgins. Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
Shit. Oh, whoops. You know, he thought, well, firstly, the positive is that the fitness is great. Another 12 rounds. I know I can keep it if I can. Just, it shows, you know, it shows that when he's in training with us, he sort of picked up on my style and knows how I fight. And I guess it was, hopefully it was a good show for everyone that came out tonight, and for everyone watching back home, because we wanted to make a fight where we can say goodbye to New Zealand for a while.
Do you feel you came in with enough intent?
Who?
You, like
me?
Yeah. Do you feel enough intent?
I guess we'll change of opponent. I can't say anything bad. You know, I did the best I can, and I guess it just comes down to we both know each other's style, and maybe a change of opponent. I felt like my fitness was great, and breathing was good. Just the connection wasn't really there with the punches, but I guess he could take a punch.
Is the holding frustrating?
The holding?
Yeah.
I know that he initiated some, I initiated some, but it's I'm a fighter that likes to move, so I think the holding is a little bit sort of slowed it down a bit. But I guess it's both of us. You know, we both did the holding, so maybe next time we can not hold and more action.
What was he saying to you in the ring out there, Joseph? He seemed to be laughing. He seemed to be enjoying himself.
Oh, you know, when you laugh and when you talk in the ring, it means you're hurt.
Did you think you hurt him, though?
I did hurt him. I could see it. And I saw his legs wobbling a little bit. But you know, when you're hurt and when you're talking in the ring, you're actually hurt and you really want to. You know, he's saying I'm scared. I wasn't getting sucked into his trap. You know, I'm a smarter fighter and I move and box. So he wanted me to stand there and exchange, but I didn't allow it to happen. So I feel like I followed the game plan as best I can. But there's still a lot to improve on. Still a lot to work on, and I feel like you're going to see more improvements with each fight.
You said you wanted to prove a point to yourself in this fight. Do you think you did that?
Yeah, 70%. But like I said, there's a lot to work on, a lot to improve on. And I think with each camp, you know, my coach is going to push me and keep teaching me and developing me in the things I need to work on. So it's an exciting journey. You know, we're here now. We've defended the belt once. We've kept it here in New Zealand and Samoa, and we're going to defend it as many times as we can.
Was discipline crucial in that fight the longer it went on, Joe?
Very, very important. Yeah. I mean, he was looking for me to make a mistake and stand there and trade. But the more that when I did make little mistakes, came back to the corner and Kev, you know, coach that he is, likes to see everything perfect. You know, he said to me, follow the game plan, keep the distance. The only way he will be able to get a punch in and get lucky is if I stop there and trade with him. So I, just fought off the back foot and try my best to land those combinations that we work on.
Were you shocked at the way he performed tonight?
No, I knew. Like I said, Kevin said as well. Don't underestimate him because he knows our style. He came here to win, and he tried his best to, but we didn't allow him to make his to execute his plan there.
What shocked you the most about him?
Nothing. I knew that he was going to come in and try his best to beat me. This is his chance. Like Kevin said, this is a Super Bowl.
Was he able to hurt you though?
No, the times that he did touch me, I think I didn't really get the impact of the punches. So I just try my best to move and dodge his punches because he does have power.
And can you talk about the struggle that it was to try and actually fully connect with him and do that full Joseph power that we've seen before?
Well, they connected a bit now and then, but it didn't really connect properly. The punches did connect, they did hurt him, and that's like I said, that's the reason why he started talking and telling me that I was scared because he was hurt.
Kevin, what did you make of the fight?
Well, I don't know whether you guys were listening to me the other day when I was talking about Razvan and you're all writing him off, and I said, this is a bloody dangerous fight, and the reason why it was a dangerous fight is because the guy we were fighting knew more about Joe than any other previous opponent. And I think we saw that tonight. Every time Joe was in a position to set up a combination, Razvan had seen it many, many times before. In fact, over 100 rounds in the gym. So I knew it was going to be that sort of fight. If you remember the press conference last week, I stood up and said I thought this would be a better fight than Hughie Fury. And I also said that I told you about the Carlos Takam fight, the Andy Ruiz fight, and I said do not write this guy off. But what did everyone do? Do they ever listen? No, they wrote him off and they said, oh, this fight's a one-round fight. It did not surprise me. This is a proud guy. This is a guy who's had over 300 amateur fights, an Olympian a very proud man. We knew that we were going to get the very best that he had. And was I surprised that he stood up to those punches? Look, I really was surprised that Joe didn't get him out of there. But in the 100 rounds we've sparred him in the gym, he's never been down. I've never seen him hurt. And that's why we use this guy, because he's so bloody durable.
How do you think that's going to be taken in Britain and that where you're hoping to head to?
Don't know. I don't write the media there. You know, I think
they will appreciate
we'll find
what
out.
you're saying?
No, I tell you what. I think Tony Bello he'll be really chirping tomorrow, and it'll be great to hear what he's got to say. It'll make him very keen to jump in the ring with Joe, and let's do it.
Emotionally, it's good in a way. Because you get the Brit boxing, you know, funny game. Taken went the distance. Bowie Tupu got cleanly KO'd. As Kevin said, you know, you can't write anyone off. And so I, like Kevin, you know, I was a little bit nervous. Anything can happen. And so those Brits will be sort of saying, you know, talking it up. And then, you know, we'll go back into camp and you never know what can happen.
Kevin, when you look at Joe's performance, not Razvan's performance, what do you like, what don't you like?
I liked that Joe was patient. And when Raz was trying every trick in the book to unsettle Joe and to get him to fight his style of fight, so to give him a chance to get lucky. He was trying to entice him into a brawl, and you know, as I said, the guy's 20 stone, and the 20 stone guy throws punches with a lot of power. So his only chance, there was no chance he was ever going to be able to outbox Joe. His only chance was to knock Joe out, and to do that, he had to get Joe to engage in close quarter combat. So the thing that I was impressed with Joe is, you know, I would say probably for 95% of the fight, he fought very disciplined.
You're saying, Kev, the last 5%, maybe the last 30 seconds of the fight, he may have put himself in a position that he could have copped one.
There were a couple of times in the fight where he put himself in that position, and when he come back to the corner, I was saying, Joe, come on, man, you don't need to be there. You're winning the fight easy. You don't need to be standing there and allowing him to come in and try and get lucky. And the other thing that worries me is, like, it's a big guy, 6'7.5", and his elbows are flying all over the place. He hit Joe a few times in the back of the head. You know, I was concerned that we were going to catch an elbow in the eye.
You got the feeling that he couldn't be knocked out unless you were in a solid exchange, though. He was too skilled at holding Joe's head, keeping him out. Unless you guys like got into a brawl, he wasn't getting knocked out.
Hey, that's why we have the guy in camp. He's very, very durable. That's why, you know, Alexander Povetkin, the former world champion and Olympic gold medalist, has him in camp because he's very, very durable.
So are you happy with the result?
I'm very happy with the win. You know, God, we just defended the world title. You know, we didn't lose it, and now we're on to bigger and better things. You know, we said this will be our last fight in New Zealand, and it will be. You know, we're going to be campaigning overseas now. Exactly where we go, you know, there's a few things to be decided, but you know, this is going to be an exciting new chapter. And
exciting. How do you see Bellew, which is the guy that everyone seems to be talking about, Kevin?
Oh, I think it's a great opponent for Joe. You know, I've always thought it was a good opponent for Joe.
For what reason?
Just the style of the guy, the size of him, the way he moves. You know, I think it's a fight that if he engages Joe, it's a fight that could be a very quick night.
What do you think about Tony Bellew, mate?
Love it. Sounds good to me. Get a rest first, have a burger, and then we'll sit down and talk to the team, do events, Kev. But I think it's a fight that we would love to have in the UK.
How soon would you want to? You know, how long away do you think you'd be ready to go for this?
Maybe I'll have a little bit of a break, maybe 4 weeks, a month, spend it with family, daughter, and then whenever they're ready, we're ready. If they're ready next week, we'll go next week.
We'll do one more question and then take Joe and Kevin away, and David Higgins can stay here while I bring in Razvan Cojanu.
Your thoughts? Just
look, I'm happy with the win, of course. But anything can happen. It's a relief always to get a win. And do you know what? A win at 2 weeks' notice.
Hey, congrats, Joe. Congrats, man.
But also for Joseph Parker and Kevin Barry, it's not easy to prepare for one fighter and then have it all shaken up and event change and have to fight another fighter. It can be disconcerting, and so, you know, it's a credit to their team to pull through and win the fight. I think we're going to get called out, and Balu already is doing that. It's a fact that the current mandatory challenger is Hughie Fury. We respect WBO, we respect the president. We haven't addressed that issue yet. So as it stands, Hughie Fury is mandatory. If we want to, we'll have a good look at that. But at the moment, so our options, we could roll into Hughie Fury. We could try put that in Samoa, or we could try put it in England or whatever. We remain the first bid winner. Or we could look at challenging that, which would be a big call. There's a lot of ramifications there. But again, we've been focused on winning tonight, so we haven't considered those options yet.
So possibly Fury then Balu.
Well, it depends. In boxing, deals happen. Camps make deals. You might leapfrog one and then give someone a shot, or you can challenge things, or you can get. Often there's sometimes lawyers involved. So nothing is what it seems in boxing. I mean, technically on paper, yes, Hughie Fury's the challenger now, and that's not a bad fight. He's got a name, and we think Joe does the business against him. Do we trust them? Jury's out a bit. You can manage that through contract and the way money flows. We could talk to them. We could look at there's deals to be done. So it's just really a matter of us mapping up all the options and deciding what's the best next step.
Joe is becoming a points victory fighter at the moment. Does that make it easier or harder for you to sell him overseas?
Well, if you look at his record, how many KOs has he got?
I'm just thinking about the last 4 or 5 fights.
Well, he's got to a certain level and he's finding his feet as world champion. This particular fight, the opponent changed it 2 weeks out. So I wouldn't quite call him a points victory fight. He's a KO fighter based on his record.
How important is then, from a fan perspective, a punter perspective, they want to see knockdowns? It never looked like being a knockdown in that fight tonight. Were you a little disappointed deep down?
No, because, after people tend to focus on now, but across time, some fights are knockdowns and some are not. So, and some, it's like playing cricket. Some days it's hit a century and others you get a duck. Like boxing's probably similar. You have good days and bad days and whatever. And I think when you've trained for Hughie Fury and you have to fight Cojanu at 2 weeks' notice, to get the win and get it in a decisive win is actually a good result, which we're very happy with.
How long do you think it will take you to thrash out a deal about what's next?
Look, Joe will have a bit of a break, so there's no hurry. We'll obviously reach out to those concerned, WBO, our partners like Barbarian, the Fury camp, and just look at options. And so hopefully in 3 weeks' time there's something shaping up.
Considering what's been said between the two camps, with the Fury camp and you guys, is that going to make it hard to sit around a table and flesh things out?
You'd be surprised how quickly those problems disappear when, it's a matter of finding a win-win, and you can't hold grudges. Like, you take the emotion out. A Fury is the best fight and the best money and the best way to build Joe in the UK. That's a fight we do.
How could you do that financially in Samoa as opposed to getting a better deal in the UK, the Fury fight?
Well, if the Furies meet the terms we want, we'd go to the UK. If they don't, then we'll look at doing it somewhere else.
Now, David, is it the first bid still in play?
That's my understanding, yes.
Are you thinking of an August fight date, or is that flexible as well?
There's some flexibility. I think 120 days, We're required to defend 120 days, roughly 4 months' time. So, what's that, September at the latest, perhaps?
We done?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just get Razvan Cojanu if you just wait 1 minute.
How long?